to let everybody know that this session is going to be recorded, and all your names and everything will be blurred from the bottom, so nobody will know that you are here. And it's just so in case you want to re-watch it back, or for anybody who missed it, we can get it recorded and pop it on YouTube. So hello, my name is Jess and I work in the student recruitment and outreach team, and I'll be asking all the questions today. And we've got 3 lovely business student ambassadors here who are going to be answering all of our questions and all of your questions and letting you know what it's like to be a business student. So I'm going to ask the 3 of you to introduce yourself, tell us the year that you're in and what course you're on. So Annie Marie, if we start with you.
Hi, I'm Annie Marie. I'm in the 3rd year and I'm studying event management and marketing.
Excellent. And Jen?
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm studying marketing and event management also, and I'm in my 2nd year.
Excellent. And Lucy May?
Hi, I'm Lucy and I'm studying digital marketing.
Fabulous.
I'm 2nd year. Forgot about
that. That's okay. So just on the screen now is a list of all the business courses that we offer. It is quite a lot, but yeah, that's just for your reference. But obviously these 3 will be able to answer all questions about the modules and things that they've done. So first off, all about researching university. So I'm just going to pick some of you at random to answer these questions. So we'll go in exactly the same order that I started. Annie Marie, what steps did you take before joining university?
So the route I took was slightly different to the regular route. I did a foundation degree, which was 2 years, and then I applied for Chichester University to do my 3rd year, and I used the UCAS website to apply.
Awesome. And what about you, Jen?
I took a gap year before I came to uni because I wasn't sure what I wanted to study. So I researched the course and the university, decided which one I wanted to do. Actually, I hadn't done marketing or event management or a business subject before, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. But I was pleased with the course that I ended up taking.
Cool. And Lucy, how did you feel about going to university?
I felt very unsure when I was first started because I actually applied to another university for forensic science, and then a week before I changed my mind and I was like, you know what, that's not for me. And then I researched business degrees, and then I live just outside of Chichester anyway, so I was like, you know what, that makes sense.
Oh, cool. So we'll go on to the next one. Start your first week at university. Obviously, it's quite daunting going into something completely new and different. Jen, what was your first week like?
Well, the university gave us tours of the campuses, and we had a freshers fair, which was quite a big event, so we were able to join clubs. We also had introduction classes to all of the different modules that we were going to take, which gave us an opportunity to meet teachers and classmates and feel more relaxed. And as part of this, there was activities that we could do in the classes. So, for example, we played crazy golf for one of the days during the introduction week. And there was a lot of events going on throughout the week, like having an outdoor cinema and different sports.
Cool. What about you, Lucy? How was your first week?
Yeah, it was similar to Jen's because we joined at the same time. Yeah, I remember the crazy golf and yeah, the outdoor cinema as well. But it was also like taster lectures, which was quite nice because we got to meet some of the people that we'd be in classes with. So it wasn't completely daunting walking into a class of people I didn't know in the 2nd week.
That's good. And how about you, Annie Mary?
So it was a little bit different because it was when COVID, everything was happening with COVID, so there weren't as many activities as the year before, but we still had an opportunity to have an introduction week, get to know each other, and we also, the classes I did it in were some of the classes I'm actually sitting in now for lectures, which I found really helpful because it meant when I actually went to start my classes, I felt a lot more comfortable than if I was going into a completely new environment.
Oh, that's good. And so, sticking with you, Annie Marie, while we're here, how did you find it settling into student life here?
So I really like the campus, and I find it like it's one of my favourite places to be on. I'm at the Bognor campus, and because I felt like in a safe, comfortable place where I felt like relaxed, it just helped me fit in really quickly, and yeah, it was a good experience.
That's good. Jen, how did you find it settling in?
I found that I settled in really quickly, and it was quite easy to settle in into the life of taking the courses and also into the accommodation at the Bognor Regis campus. And the events and activities made it easy to meet new people.
That's cool. And how about you, Lucy?
Yeah, I found it really easy actually because I don't live on campus, I commute in, so not really much changed for me apart from like lectures and things like that and assignments being a bit more like step up from college kind of thing, but apart from that it was pretty easy.
Oh, good. So again, go down the line and you can tell everybody what it's like just a week in your timetable. We'll start with you, Lucy.
So at the moment, I normally do 2 to 3 days of timetabled lectures. I do Mondays and Thursdays at the moment, which are like packed full days. And then I have Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Fridays to do independent study and work on my assignments, which is quite nice because it allows me to do my own sort of research.
That's good. And Jen?
I think I wrote this quote in blue that's on this slide saying about there's 10 hours of contact plus 7 hours on top of that. So it gives you a pretty good idea. And those hours would generally be from 10 until 5 or 6. Like you don't need to wake up very early and you're not really working in the evening.
That's good. There's nothing worse than a 9 a.m. lecture. I never enjoyed that. Not about that life. And Annie, what about Annie Marie? Sorry, what about you?
So it's slightly different for me as I'm in third year. Semester I was in 2 days a week, and this semester I'm doing a work placement, so I'm working from home with my work placement most of the time, and I'll go in now and again or have lectures online depending on the circumstances.
Yeah, that's cool. That is very convenient because the next slide is all about placements. So do you want to tell us about your placement, Annie Marie?
Yeah, sure. So it's quite cool because what I'm doing for my work placement is actually working for myself.
Cool.
Because and it's awesome because I get support from the lecturers and I can check in with them and they check in with me. But the flexibility to work on my own projects, and it means that hopefully once I finish my placement, I'm going to really build on my business.
That's very cool. And did you like talk to the uni about it that you wanted to do it? Was it something you like agreed in advance, or how was it like set up at all?
So we I talked to, there's like a really cool placement, there's like a person who really helps us find placements, and I talked to them and my academic advisor, we all have academic advisors, and asked them if it was okay. And I was a bit worried to start with because I thought, oh, maybe they wouldn't want me to, but it was actually totally opposite. They were really all for it and like, yes, like if it's going to help you and help your business, then like let's do it and let's make it work.
That's really cool. And Jen and Lucy, have you done any placements or are planning any placements at all? Jen, if you want to go first.
I haven't done a placement yet, but I'm trying to get one, and the careers team is supporting me to do this. So helping me write my CV and cover letters, and you can also have a practice interview with the careers team. They're really friendly and approachable, and they're willing to put in a lot of time to help you.
That's good. Do you know where you want to do your placement or what kind of things you want to do?
Yeah, I want a placement in marketing, but actually it's kind of difficult at the moment, especially with COVID. So I'm applying for lots of places and fingers crossed I get something positive come back from it.
That'd be good, yeah. And what about you, Lucy? Are you doing one, planning on doing one?
Yeah, so I was meant to actually do one summer just gone, but because of COVID, obviously that didn't go ahead. But I plan on doing the 10-week placement in third year with the same company, hopefully.
Yeah, and what company was it? What were you doing?
I actually already work for them, but just doing a different job. It's a wedding events venue.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be doing like a venue coordinator type role.
That's very cool, very exciting. And so, do you feel like the placements will help with your degree kind of going forward? Any of you want to go for it?
Yeah, I think some of the modules that I've already done will help me in the role, and then the role will help me for like things like my dissertation and things like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Everybody's favourite topic is exams and essays. So in our business courses, what kind of assessments do you take? Jen, go for it.
In the marketing and event management, everything is coursework. And for me, it was important to choose a subject that everything was coursework because I definitely prefer this method of assessment. And I think a lot of the other subjects in the business school are also coursework. So you'd have to check on the website, but I'm pretty sure a lot of them are. It's all coursework, and in event management, it's also based on practical assessment. So in your second and third year, you make an event, and then it's assessed in this way.
That's very cool. And Lucy, what about you?
Yeah, very similar. So 100% coursework, but also things like presentations and not necessarily formal essays. Sometimes they're reports and sometimes they're portfolios, which are a bit nicer to put together than writing a really long essay because it's a bit more interesting.
Yeah, so hold your attention longer. And Annie Marie, you're writing your dissertation at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, I am writing my dissertation at the moment. I didn't ever think I'd ever write one. And I've just finished chapter 3 and I'm actually really enjoying it.
Oh. That's how it should be.
And I'm finding that the support from our lectures is really amazing, even working remotely during COVID. If I have any questions or I need any support, then I'm always supported, and yeah, I really value that.
That's really good. So how do you kind of prepare for the assessments? Do you get like help during lectures, and can you kind of reach out to lecturers as well?
Yeah, so we have the lectures to prepare for the assessments, and then what I personally do is, because they're all recorded, I like to when I'm preparing for the assessment at home, I then re-watch the lecture, which is really useful.
That's handy. How about you, Jen? How do you prepare for your assessments?
Some of the assignments are individual, and others of them are as part of a team. So you have to kind of consider this when you're preparing for the assessments. But if it is part of a team, then it comes down to individual contributions. So you say to the teacher, this is the parts that we all did, and it's very clear. So you're assessed individually. So it's a bit more fair like this. Yeah. So I would prepare by reading some books or just some chapters for some books, by going to classes and watching the teacher's presentations, and also Googling information.
Very good. And how about you, Lucy?
It's a bit of a weird one. Everybody normally goes, ugh, but I actually really like reading journal articles instead of books because they're normally a lot more up to date. They can be quite difficult to read, but they're so much more helpful than books, in my opinion. And the lecturers like share exemplar past submissions with us sometimes, which I find really interesting, even though it's not like the same topic. It's nice to see how people have structured things, and I find that really helpful.
That is useful. So, the big question, what do you plan to do with your business degree? Annie Marie, what are your plans when you finish?
So I'm hoping to launch the business that I'm working on at the moment, and hopefully that will be successful. Another potential option is that I've been offered a event management job in Saudi Arabia.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of options, and time will tell.
That's very exciting. Jen, what about you? What are your plans when you finished?
I would like to go into marketing and work my way up and progress in my career and start to be some sort of leader and have responsibility. That's kind of a long-term goal of mine. And I was really surprised that this was going to be my goal, because when I came to uni, I wasn't expecting to have this as my ambition. Like, it's definitely changed since I arrived. But I think that uni has prepared me to do things that I really wouldn't imagine that I would think would be possible. So like feeling confident and capable to and ready to be in a role like this.
Cool. And Lucy, how about you?
So I've been looking at a lot of postgrad placements. So my one that I'm aiming for at the moment is in the Ministry of Defence. It's a project management. So it gives you a project management qualification. So keep learning, but earn at the same time.
Yeah, learn and earn. Oh, that's a great slogan. I'm copywriting that. So, memorable moments of your degrees. I'll be honest, I can't remember who sent in what. But again, if we start with you, Lucy, do you want to talk us through any memorable moments that you've had so far?
Yeah, so mine was the one about the student fair. Similar to what Jen said before, just seeing all the clubs and like what the uni had to offer and local businesses and things like that, that even though I live here, I didn't actually know existed. And the pub quiz nights, obviously they're not going ahead with COVID at the moment, but they were really fun in the SU when they were going ahead.
Yeah, the quiz was always a highlight for me. I loved it. And Jen, how about you?
My comment is the one in blue. So it's about studying in Finland this year. And the uni was really amazing at supporting me and encouraging me to go to Finland. And the coordinators and the admin team were so friendly. And I feel like they're very approachable and I can always ask questions. And I feel updated with what's going on at Chichester, even though I'm not physically there.
Oh, that's very cool. And how about you, Annie Marie?
So as I mentioned before, I'm really enjoying writing my dissertation. And then another thing, just like day-to-day life when I go into uni, especially in when it's a little bit warmer, I just really enjoy sitting in the campus because we've got such a nice campus and eating food outside. Yeah, it's just a really nice environment to be in.
Oh, that's really good. So, things you wish things you wish you knew before starting universities. I'm sure there's loads of things that we wish people had told us before we came. So, we'll just reverse it. Annie Marie, what do you wish you knew before starting university?
I wish I knew that it was okay to read. I was really resistant to reading and haven't started to enjoy it towards the end. But actually, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And yeah, I've started to get into it now. I recommend to do it more.
It's good advice. Jen, how about you? What do you wish you knew? What do you wish you knew before starting university?
I wish that I'd known about how the experience is what you make of it, and the university life allows you to be so independent and you have to make your own path. Like, you're given the opportunities, you just need to take them, and nobody is going to do it for you, and no one is going to push you into doing something that you don't want to do, unlike school, which I was really surprised about.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And how about you, Lucy?
Mine was very not like the others. I just bought so much stationery, like notebooks, pens, and then I didn't need it because everything was online even before COVID. Like, I didn't need any of it because all the books are online and everything like that.
Yeah, I feel you. I brought a lot of cutlery and plates, and that's just not. You don't need all of that. I used like one plate, done. I didn't need like 6. It was stupid. So brings us on to any questions from you guys watching. Feel free to pop them in the chat, or if you want to be brave and unmute yourself, you can ask these guys any questions you have about the course or about the university in general. So we have a question, team. How was the support on getting a year abroad? Jen, if you want to take this one.
It was really amazing. They encouraged me and worked with me hand in hand to get everything sorted. Yeah, I think I applied about in December or January of last year. I knew quite a lot in advance that I wanted to do it. And George, who's the coordinator, he went through everything with me, like what the academic requirements were, like how the modules work, what options I have and where to go abroad, help with funding. It was really clear the way that the process was, and I would really recommend that anybody like considers doing it. Are you considering doing it, Erin?
We brace for Erin's response.
Yeah, I am hoping to do a year abroad if I can.
Okay, sure, yeah, cool. It's really great. Yeah, you should.
Excellent. Next question is from Rosie. She says, I'm planning to take digital marketing. Is there a specific laptop/device you should use, or does it not matter that much?
So I use my laptop that I've used throughout college. It doesn't really matter. So the uni has MacBooks, Macs, and also PCs. But for the coding and programming modules, I wouldn't recommend getting a MacBook or a Mac because it's quite difficult to use the software that we use on Apple programs. It's difficult to access the assignment submissions portal as well. But that's the only struggle that I had with like MacBooks and things like that.
Yeah, and we also have lots of PCs and Macs in the library as well that you are more than welcome to access whenever you like. And it does get to a certain point in the semester where the library goes 24 hours. So if your time management skills are very, very bad, you can be there at 3 o'clock in the morning if you need to. So next question from Rebecca. How easy was it to make friends, especially during COVID?
So that was something I was really nervous about coming into my third year, and also in COVID times. But it's really cool. I've made a couple of good friends, and because you do group work as well, you work with people you wouldn't necessarily work with and get to know them and kind of build strong relationships from that. Also, like if you come in your first year, everyone's in the same position. And everyone's nice and wants to just, be like welcoming and stuff. There's nothing to worry about.
That is a good response. You have to remember that everybody's in the same boat as well when you first start. Like everybody's nervous about making friends, and because you're all nervous about making friends, you're all really awkward, and it's fine. And you also have to do really uncomfortable icebreaker sessions in your like first week that I'm sure you guys all fondly remember. I know I certainly do. So start thinking about some fun facts about yourself. That'll do you well. So next one from Luke. How do you know the course was for you? Any of you, feel free.
I don't mind answering that again.
Yeah, sorry.
So I live a half an hour commute to Chichester Uni, so that was one thing for me. I really like not having to commute far and still being able to live at home. And also the uni is smaller compared to other unis, so there's like small classes, like all the lecturers know you by name and you know the lecturers, and that was one thing that kind of that was what made my decision, because it's really nice having that more personalized learning experience.
Yeah, and for me, I also was unsure about which course exactly I wanted to do because it does business management, event management, marketing, digital marketing. So I was kind of unsure. But I think it's about looking at the module page on the uni website, and you can read through every single module that you would study and then see, would I be interested in spending a few hours a week learning about this module? And that definitely helps. And also it's important to know that you can change course like within the first year. So I'm doing event management and marketing, but if I want to change to business management and event management, it's possible. Like there is flexibility because in the first year, a lot of the courses that you take are the same. Like probably me and Lucy, we did the same courses or very similar ones in the first year, even though we're on different subjects. So it is still possible to change afterwards.
Yeah, Definitely. That's the same across every department. I started on a completely different course and then changed halfway through my first year, and they were like, yeah, because in the grand scheme of things, you're paying a lot of money to be here, so we want you to be happy about it. So there is a lot of flexibility amongst courses, and if you don't think you're enjoying it, talk to your lecturers and they will absolutely help you. So another one, what was the deal breaker for you guys to choose this uni? If you want to take it in turns, crack on.
I'll go first since the other guys talked. Definitely sort of how close it is in proximity to my house, because I'm quite a home person. But also how, like the other guys mentioned, it's such a community feel because it's small. Like you recognise people around campus, and in the business school, you know other people because you've shared modules with them. So I think that was definitely the thing for me that made me choose this one.
Cool. And Annie Marie or Jen, or both?
So I didn't know at the time, but like reflecting on it, for me, as well as the small class sizes, the lecturers in the business school, they always say like what the teachers like creates a learning experience, and that's very true. And the lecturers are great, and they all just want you to do well, and it's really cool because they'll like push you to try and be as independent as you can, but if you're struggling, they'll still like point you in the direction and tell you like if you need anything or any support, then they'll always be there, and they will. And yeah, that's really cool.
That's really good. And you, Jen?
For me, it was the same reasons about like having the supportive people, really supportive atmosphere, and also everyone that I met was so friendly and welcoming and supportive, and I knew that I wanted to study in this kind of environment. I was really happy with the location too, because it's like you've got the countryside and the sea nearby as well, so it's a really beautiful area, especially if you're moving away from home for the first time or one of the first times. Yeah. What else? I think those were the main reasons, yeah.
Cool. So Lucy and Annie Marie, you both commute onto campus, is that right? But Jen, did you live in halls when you were in your first year?
Yeah, I was in Barbara Smith at Bognor Regis campus.
Awesome. How was it? How did you find your halls experience?
It was really nice, and the Bognor ones are all catered for, which means that you don't need to cook for yourself. So it was really nice because I could spend my time like relaxing and being with friends and things rather than cooking a lot. Yeah, and there was also like 24/7 security, and so somebody was always available to help you if you need any help. There was an accommodation office, so you were really supported in this living arrangement.
That's good. And did you go into student housing for your second year?
No, I came to Finland, so I'm still here now.
You're still in Finland now?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's very cool. I didn't realise you were still in Finland. That's very exciting. Yeah. And Lucy and Annie Marie, how is it commuting to the university? Annie Marie, you go first. There we go.
Okay. I really like it. It's easy for me to commute. I'm based in Worthing, so it's not far. Yeah, and it's an easy drive. And it's a nice drive as well. You get to see countryside and stuff, so that's a bonus.
Pretty. And how about you, Lucy? How's it commuting?
Yeah, pretty much the same, to be honest, because I'm not in uni, well, obviously at all now, but in the first year, 2 to 3 days a week, it's quite nice because the other 2 days, at least I can work from home, and I've still got the option to just drive into campus if I wanted to, or if I needed to use the software on the computers at uni.
Yeah.
But I'm in the opposite direction to Annie Marie. I'm like Portsmouth way.
Oh, okay. We've got it from both angles. That's good. And Gabby's just put in the chat that you can stay on either one of our campuses. So we have a campus in Chichester and a campus in Bognor. The business school is based in the Bognor campus. But if you wanted to live in Chichester and commute down to Bognor, we have a free bus that goes between the two campuses. And if you also want to go up to the Chichester campus to use the other library, they're basically identical. But if you wanted a change of scenery, you can get yourself up to Chichester, and the bus is free with your student card. So I can see there's some typing going on in the chat, so we'll wait and see what people say.
While they're typing, Rosie put a bit further up about she has a Chromebook, but an actual laptop would be more useful. I think, and personally, I think I find a laptop more useful just because in coding it's quite specific, and I think on a Chromebook the screen's quite small. So, me personally, it would be easier for me to see what I'm doing on things like that. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah. I also made a mistake and I said business is in the Bognor campus. It's actually in the Chichester campus. I completely forgot that. I do apologise. The business school is now in Chichester. Sorry about that, everybody. How often do the buses run and until what time? I can't remember off the top of my head. The bus timetable is on our website, but I do believe they are relatively regular, and we have 2 services, one that goes direct campus to campus and one that stops around the city, so you can take either one of them, but they are quite regular. And
also I think on certain nights they go on later by a couple of hours, so maybe the last one is like 2 in the morning on some nights.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. And so we've got what are practical assessments like, and how are assessments different from other courses?
So the practical assessments for digital marketing were quite lengthy. I'm not going to lie. They, just because it's coding and a lot of work goes into coding, and it's very specific. So if you make one little mistake, the whole thing will just throw itself out. But the lecturers are so good, like Annie Marie said, sitting down with you and supporting you and going through it with you. Roger specifically, one of the IT guys, he spent God knows how many hours just sitting with me and helping me out, because I'm not technologically inclined at all. But coding did not come naturally to me. So the support was definitely there for the practical assignments. It made it a lot more bearable.
That's really good. Jen, how did you find your ones?
The practical assessments, I don't think I've had one yet at Chichester, because in the first year you don't have one for event management. So I don't think I'd be able to say, but I mean, last semester for marketing, we had to do research about a company in Chichester, so that was quite practical. And do some research and then give some suggestions and this kind of thing. So it's kind of working for a company almost. And I would say it went really well. It's more enjoyable when you're actually doing it for a company, because it's more realistic and more valuable to you, and you feel motivated to do it.
And just another one, have you guys joined any sport teams or societies at all?
So I joined the Sustainability Society in my first year. It's called a Jump, and I got a free plant when I joined as well. Oh. So, but yeah, they do like surveys. So they send them out via email and you fill them out. So whether you got the bus or public transport, or whether you use recyclable materials or reusable water bottles, and then you get points, and then you can claim back the points.
That's very cool. Jen or Annie Marie, did you join any societies at all, or sport teams?
Last year I joined the Environmental Society, but we set it up quite late in the year, and then COVID happened, so it was kind of difficult to plan anything, so nothing much really happened. We met up a few times and had some meetings about like the environment, but that was it.
Annie Marie, you?
So being in my third year, I made the decision not to join any societies because I wanted to focus on my work. But what I would say is, if you want to join any, then definitely do it in the first and second year, because by the time you get to your third year, you will have lots of work to do. So yeah, definitely do it.
Yeah, it's a good suggestion. So, are there any more questions from anybody at all? Just another one from me. Did you, any of you guys get a part-time job while you were studying at all?
Sorry, were you going to say something? No, I had two actually.
Yeah,
sorry.
You go first.
Yeah, I actually had two in my last semester. So I worked for the events company that I said about while there was the gap between the lockdowns in COVID and they could open. And I also work at the co-op, so a lot more boring, but
yeah,
it's funny.
Did you find it was all right balancing it between your studies?
Yeah, so I did have to balance, obviously, how many hours I actually did compared to how many hours I was at uni. And towards the end of the semester, I did have to drop down my hours because obviously it does get the workload gets heavier when the semester starts to end.
Yeah.
But I found it okay as long as I just kept myself organised and I knew what I was capable of doing and whether I needed a rest, basically.
Yeah. And Annie Marie, what were you going to say?
So I'm an event and sponsorship manager for a conference. And luckily enough, because of COVID, my workload was really, really small. And it was a good thing because I don't think in the third year I'd be able to balance both.
No. And did you find it was like all right for you balancing it wise? It's a dreadful.
Yeah, there weren't that many hours.
That's really good. There's also a lot of job opportunities to work for the university as well. So we have jobs at the Students' Union, you can work in the canteen, and these three are all student ambassadors. So they do these kind of things all the time. They do campus tours, they work open days, and that is a good opportunity. And plus you get to do things like this. What a treat. Yeah. So are there any more questions at all?
I think we missed a couple from Rebecca because we said what are practical assessments like, and then how are the assessments different from other courses?
Yeah, go for it if you guys want to chat about that. Does anybody want to take it?
I'll go for it. So I think in the business school, at least, all the assessments are quite similar in that they're mostly coursework based. I think some modules do have exams, like finance and accounting, I think have exams. But apart from that, they're all quite similar in that we have quite a lot of crossover modules. So a lot of reports, essays, presentations sometimes, and there's also the opportunity to work in teams. But I know that across the uni, a lot of other courses have exams. Quite often hear people stressing out in the library area, saying, "Oh, I've got exams this afternoon." But yeah, I think in the business school, they're all quite similar.
And Rebecca also asked, are all courses on the Bognor campus? I made the mistake and said that business is on Bognor, but it's actually in Chichester, so it's on the Chichester campus. But we do have courses split across the two in other departments.
Yeah, because I think it's moving like across to the other campus, which is why I stayed in Bognor Regis campus last year, but it's moved to Chichester.
So if there aren't any more questions, we will wrap things up. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming and listening to us and listening to our lovely ambassadors. And thank you, Jen, Lucy, and Annie Marie, for giving up your time. So thank you, everybody.